I'm what you would call a highly sensitive, which means having clear understanding of the physical feeling. And I'm also a claircognizant, which means clear knowing. I'm a clairaudient, which means I can hear physical energies. And lastly, I'm an empath, which basically I can internalize the feelings of others. This ability I had, you could say, started in 1991. Ever since I had this near-death car accident in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. But to get a better understanding of my background, in the past, I witnessed the deaths of 2 friends and a family member. Between those where I witnessed it before it actually took place by having a strong precognitive occurrence prior to it happening. For one of my precognitive experiences, actually the premonition was the death of my late friend by the name of Leroy Jones. That premonition came true literally 5 days before it actually happened. So you just never know if people out there do have premonitions. You know, you never could put a timestamp on things. But the thing about knowing and understanding premonitions, you have to know when it is one. When it reoccurs and it comes and it repeats itself in that same space of dream state of consciousness, you can almost certainly guarantee that is a full-blown premonition. You just don't know when it could actually happen. And just to give you a little understanding of that, I tried to block it and didn't want to have those experiences. I just wanted to be normal and have I was young, I think I was like 22, something like that, when that happened. It's many more, but I'm not here to talk about all my other experiences. I want to focus my energy on what the message that I have to get out, which is relatively, it's about the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, the one and only. And I'm about to get into that experience, but I just wanted to give you guys a open door, a small open door to the things I have experienced. Before we get started, I know you guys are anxiously waiting to know what I got to share with you regarding the one and only King of Pop. But I do want to say this. A lot of my things I sense and I feel, I really like to pull my stones and my energy from the lapis lazuli, which is this stone right here. I have it in pearls now. It's a crystal. These are actual real crystal stone. I'm an Aquarius, so this really, I pull a great amount of energy with this, and this is my baby right here. I take this with me wherever I go. Now, in order for you guys to get a better understanding of my experience with MJ, I will need to walk you guys through step-by-step details on this viewing. And like I say, the tricky thing about this is this was only the second time that I had a mediumship experience. Now, I may be a lot of things, but an experienced medium is not one of them. And before I go into that, I'm sorry again, you guys. I know you guys are ready to hear it all, but I just must say, the experience I went through was a life-changing experience, and it was quite scary of what I went through, yet amazing. It was beautifully amazing. It was traumatizing, devastating, and extremely draining, to say the least. And when I say draining, where literally I'm down for a day. And sometimes I will have my spasmodic episodes. I I usually get drained in these situations, which cause me to have a severe spasmodic episode where it's like I'm paralyzed and like I'm like I had a stroke or something, and and I take my medication on it, but it's draining. And but the reason why I'm saying this is because to see fellow Claires, quote unquote Claires out there that's famous, like for instance, the Hollywood medium Tyler Henry, he claims to be, a person that can literally see the non-physicals and talk to them spontaneously, right on the drop of a dime, and for his clients. I don't agree with making money off of your grieving clients. Um, Now, if it's a situation that arises where I have to guide something or someone on um, a request, that's different. But I'm not going to be deliberately trying to just find ways to make money off of people pain and grief, especially when it's just not, as a person, knowing what I seen and see, it can't be that easy with his spirit to be like, boom, okay, your person did this, and now let's move on to the next client. Ha, life goes on. It's not that peachy. Your body is physically drained. Your body took on something powerful. You need time to heal. So it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. It really does. And another reason why I'm coming out about this is because it's um, he's supposed to be coming out with a show talking about Michael Jackson. And I need to know if he's on point with what really is going on and if he's saying the right things for his family, or is he just saying garbage. And no offense, I have nothing against him. I actually like the boy, but I just want him to be authentic and true to these people. And that is the empath in me. I don't know if he's an empath, but I know he must be able to feel their pain and understand. But anyway, let me get past that. I just wanted to just talk about that briefly. That's over and out and done with. Um, and let's get right into it. Okay. The King of Pop passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009. Excuse me, where am I at? um, I had my first mediumship experience with him on a Sunday, which was that Sunday night on June 28th, following all the way through that Monday early morning hours of June 29th, 2009. Okay, I would like to share with you guys something that I wrote, which was right after my very first medium experience with MJ. And I wrote this on July 1st, 2009. And it was because my friends that I did share this experience with, I shared it with them. And they was like, Shanice, you have to write this down. I said, it's embedded in my head. It's not going nowhere. He said, but still write it down. Have your dates clear, just write it down. And I'm horrible on dates, as you guys can see. But so I'm going to show you what I written. I was 34 years old. I'm 42 now. I was 34 years old. My baby was a baby girl. She was baby. She was so cute. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, something like that. She was in the months. I know that. And she experienced it too. So I'm going to share that with you and that paper that I wrote was only for the very first experience. Now I had more experiences with the King of Pop after the 29th of June, but I did not write it down. So I'm going to share with you with that after I read to you what I have written on July 1st, 2009. And here it is. Okay, so hopefully you guys will be able to see it clear enough. If you guys need to pause or screenshot it, do whatever. I'm also going to read it to you. I just want you guys to get a clear understanding of what I was saying. And also, this is the other page. You guys can see it there. And also, if you guys need a copy of it, I'll be more than happy to share my copy with you guys too as well. It's up to you. This is what I had written about my first experience. Sunday, June 28th, around 7:45 p.m., my baby and I, along with some friends of mine, we all went to Michael Jackson's family home on Havenhurst to drop off some flowers, a letter I wrote to Michael, and a candle I lit upon leaving. I instantly noticed the energy was tremendously high, filled with love and genuine support, which all of us there at the moment were on the same oneness vibrational level that connected him to us spiritually and to the world. This is my true spiritual experience as I understand it with the King of Pop. Although I never met him in person, I met him truly in spirit. As I believe we can all, by rising our vibrational levels to the highest of consciousness. Okay. Later that Sunday night, after few of my friends leave my house, I finally managed to put my baby to sleep. I laid down for bed and closed my eyes. It was approximately 2:55 a.m. Monday morning on June 29, 2009. I was very tired, but just could not fall asleep, especially under the circumstances of MJ passing. I would say maybe about 10 minutes into my numbness of no sleep, I started feeling like someone is watching me. My eyes are still closed, and in the darkness of my eyelids, I started to see a dark blue sky filled with stars around me. Just so you guys are understanding what that is, I found that out after the fact, but that's your mind's eye. You're seeing mind's eye, which is part of your chakra, which is a color of purple. Let's see, where was I at? Okay, now all of a sudden, on the far left side of the starred dark blue sky, a man appeared skateboarding in circles. The image started to come in much clearer. The man had a light gray suit on with stripes and a hat. Although I couldn't see his face, I could hear him whistling with his hands in his pocket. I felt the sense that he knew I was watching him, and at that very moment, in shock, I realized it was Michael. Michael continued to skateboard in circles. At this point, the whistling had stopped by now. I felt he was like feeling me out, as if he was deciding if he should talk to me or not, and also a kind of shy and a kind of lonely feeling from him. All of a sudden, the image of him skateboarding in his suit disappeared, and a pure white glowing hand briefly appeared very close to my viewpoint. When that hand put up a 1 sign, it quickly faded away, leaving a trace of brightness behind. As I looked into the brightness, I started to see parts of a room. Yeah. And in this room, it was a long wooden countertop filled with papers, like musical notes and important papers. It was sort of messy, but I think on purpose. Besides that, the rest of the room seemed filled with a lot of stuff, but all was in order. I started to hear a strong, distinctive, educated voice talking as if he was on the phone handling important business. His voice gets louder with a distressful tone this time. I then see a lady moving around, adjusting pillows and prepping things very meticulously, as if this was a normal routine for her. I, I still heard a loud voice talking. Then a frail, white-colored right arm appeared. All you see is a white shirt sleeve rolled up past the elbow. A needle is inserted just below the top part of the elbow, slightly to the right. The needle is removed. I hear a soft voice say, "Ouch, that one hurts this time." But the distinctive, strong voice continues to talk, continues to speak in a loud and intelligent manner until it gradually starts to fade out into the background entirely. Almost instantly, this is when things get even stranger. I started to hear the soft voice panicking thoughts. Wow, I did. Wow. Okay, you guys are gonna have to bear with me. I haven't read this in so long, but okay. But I heard a soft, panicking voice, and I heard his panicking thoughts, thinking to himself, he feels very numb that he can't feel his arms. He can't even move his legs. He tries to call for help, but his breath is short and faint. At that very moment, I began to experience feeling short of breaths. I remember I kept swallowing, like trying to, just profusely trying to grasp for my breath. It lasted about 30 seconds, but after 30 seconds of not being able to catch my breath, I then regained my normal breathing. Shortly after that, Michael starts to say in his mind, "Why is my doctor kissing me? Why is he choking me? Why is he beating on my chest so hard?" That was it. That was the last thing Michael remembered, and the last and only thing he shared with me during that particular experience, during his transitioning to the higher existence of life. Okay, so just so you guys get an understanding of when I say that, even though I had a viewing with him after this, he walked me through his transitioning experience in his mind of what he was going through, and what at that moment I was going through it. I was mimicking the same signs of what he was going through. And he felt no one was reaching out to him, no one was responding. He couldn't, no one was hearing him as he was trying to reach out for help, as he was trying to understand why everything is numb on him. He's not moving nothing. It hurt this time. He was confused as why is his doctor kissing him, but it was almost at first in like a playful way, like, ew, why is my doctor kissing him, me, it was kind of in like a playful way. But then he's like, okay, he's beating me, why is he beating on my chest? And I was going through those motions right with him. Okay, now this was written on July 1st, 2009. And I did say and state this. Brief follow-up date was November 17th, 2009. This is what I said. I have connected with MJ several times more after the 29th of June. However, at this time, I wish to not disclose. It can be a little emotional, the things he revealed to me, but I can say on this September 2nd, 2009. And that's 100% true. That was the last and final time. And I'm going to personally go over these experiences, what I had with him in between the 29th of June and September 2nd, 2009. Okay. Now, Sunday, August 30th, 2009, I connected with MJ for the second time. And again, he came across as if he should communicate with me or not. Mainly, especially with feeding me this information he needed to share me with. He didn't know. I wasn't sure. So it was like a long pause of just like waiting to receive information. It wasn't that long. I would say maybe about 10 minutes. And that's hard. To be in a open space of receiving and holding it without thinking any normal human thoughts, staying in that between subconsciousness. So when I did start receiving information, I guess he was feeling me out or reading my mind. I don't know, but it did take a minute. But when sharing his incredible love for comic books, and that he's been collecting comic books ever since he was a little boy, and that he wanted to make sure that his kids had them when they got older. Now, this information is mainly for his kids. I really don't want to share it, but this was my experience, and this is what I have. He expressed to me that he buried loads of comic books in different areas throughout Neverland and other places that was special to him. He actually said he had this magic map to locate his treasures, he likes to call it, But he sadly expressed that after horrible lies that happened to him, that he no longer wanted to bear that tainted energy of that place. So he refused to even step foot in that place. He did have, at the time, these two lawyers at that time that he sent out there to retrieve a lot of his special things that he sentimental valuables that he needed, and that he wanted to retrieve. And one of the and some of those and part of those were the comic books. But apparently the attorneys provided him everything he needed and requested for, except a large amount of comic books that was not retrieved. Um, and his attorneys claimed them, either the feds or someone else must have taken them or did something to them. But he was really concerned about that, and he had an energy that he felt that, someone he trusted had stolen them from him. Someone that he trusted stolen these comic books from him, and he wants them back for his children, his kids. That's what he wants them back for, his kids. As he puts it, he said those are worth a tremendous, deal to him, and he wants those. So that's one of the things that he did share with me about. The second thing he shared, bothering MJ's non-physical energy, was about this one of his classical cars um, that he specifically wanted his children to have, um, pretty much forever. This car do not supposed to be sold. He shared with me about this particular classic car that he used to just sit in the back seat hours on end and just write music, think, and to clear his head, especially when something was bothering him. So he wants to be able to connect with his kids. If there's something that is bothering them, they are never alone. If it's something that's bothering his kids, he wants them to be able to go in that car and express those feelings. You don't have to express it out loud, but express those feelings in your mind, and he will heal and bring peace to whatever you're going through, no matter what. He especially wanted this car for his youngest. He said his youngest loves cars. All he did, every time he got in the car, he would just instantly just go to sleep, and that was his thing. And he knew his youngest would benefit the most from it. So that was that. Um, it was, you know what, I'm going to wait to say this. I'm just going to zip that, and I'm going to move along. Some things are just left, unkept and private, Uh, but, and just you guys are aware, it's a lot of um, energies out there that's draining energies, and they will call, they coined the word for them as vampire energies. You know, there's those energies you gotta stay away from. Um, and he don't want his kids to be distorted with energies that's going to put them into peer pressure, put them into where they should be in the because of the norm. You know, he was always outside of the norm, and he knew how much of a great deal that was on him. He don't want his kids to go through that. The third thing he shared with me on August 30th, 2009, he shared with me that the day before, he actually made a connection with his daughter, Paris. This connection that he made with her, she was actually sitting on the floor in her room or some other room. I'm not sure. I was trying to listen and grasp everything I was receiving without any distractions or distortions that could block what I needed to hear. So certain things, you know, I lose the perspective, or you know, of what place that place, you know. But it was a room. It could have been hers, but it was a room. This was the day. This was the 20. He said he connected with her on his birthday in 2009 when she was sitting on a floor crying, crying with every pain, every bone in her body. It just was a great deal of love that she had for this man. Her connection was open. She was open. She didn't realize it. She didn't realize she was open. But what got her open is that pain of that love for her father, who she only knew and loved, and he taught her everything she knew. And it was a shock that was almost unbearable, and I don't wish that on nobody. But I know this is part of life, and we have to go through these challenges and these types of pain. And as me being an empath, I have to sometimes block out people's pains, because it's a beautiful thing to experience people's pains, but it also hurts me in the process. And I also have to understand what pains are authentic enough out there in the world. The pain that I have that I can endure and take in, because I'm only human and I have my own pain and my own worries. But this pain that she had at that time, he connected. He connected with her, and although she did not realize it, it was around the time she was listening to his music. She was looking at different album covers. She was looking at photos of her dad, photos that people gave her. And at this particular moment, as she was looking at these photos, these photo albums, she said, it was crying out loud so bad, saying, "Please come back. Please come back." He was there, baby girl. He was there. He was there. Hallelujah. Oh, Baba. He was there, sitting right down next to her, because she was open. And I want her to find that space to open yourself again. And you will find it, and you can find it from that love you have for your Father. Just bring that intensity back just like that. And that goes for any person that have lost a loved one. You can do that. And I would love to talk more about that and help people understand how to do things like that. But right now I have to focus. And uh, when she said, please come back, that was the most beautiful thing. Oh God, that was the most beautiful thing that happened, because right there, he was able to communicate with her. And again, whether she received it or not, it was this music, this song that came on that was, you are my world, you are my life, you're my son. Don't get me wrong, I'm a true MJ fan. I love him. But this is one of the unfamiliar songs. You are my love, you are my world, you are my life. That song, he wanted me to make sure she knew that whenever she hear that song, feel him there. Open those gates. Flood them of that energy of love and receive that. You got to understand, we are like computers. Like you just a picture a Mac IP address, receiving and sending information. You receiving and sending. I can receive information as well as send. But it's people that can receive it because of the openness, but don't know how to send it, or they don't understand what they're receiving and brush it away as if it was just one of those little cuckoo thoughts I had. Trust that instinct. Open yourself. Ask your higher self, your guide, or whoever you want to call it. Ask for guidance. But anyway, it is like a Bluetooth. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think of it like that. It's a beautiful thing. But and in this world, it's only your mind and soul are transferring information like a fine-toothed data throughout the universe. This is the difference between regular sending, receiving through a Mac computer than you traveling and sending this through time, through space, through energy. At one point, I started to feel, no offense, but I started to feel a great deal of pressure coming from MJ. His energy wanted me to go to his current attorney's office and to tell them about the classical car is not to be sold, and that he needs someone to locate those comic books, and that they need to investigate about some offshore accounts that's been secretly set up. I don't want to say someone's name, but they were secretly set up. And he claims that his children are the rightful heirs to that account. And this is what he wanted me to tell his current attorney. But it's like, who am I? I'm a nobody, okay? I'm I'm just a normal Midwest girl, Southern normal girl that happened to have a sensitivity to this stuff, and there's so many others out there that does. And it's ones that haven't, don't even know it. But I, it, that's something that I wasn't prepared for. To go to an attorney's office, that person don't know me from Adam, don't care to know me, will probably put me out and think, oh, this crazy woman saying she's connected with MJ. Yeah, right. I just didn't want to go through that ridicule. And plus, on top of that, as I was in that energy space with him, I was feeling nervous at the time, and I started convincing myself that I'm imagining that he want me to do this, and that this is not what he's trying to say, and just trying to deny the situation. And my human is coming out of me, trying to get out of it. And the more and more I was thinking in my human persona, um, I became more and more anxious and nervous. I end up unwillingly losing the connection I had with MJ that particular day. So if he had more information to give me, it didn't happen because I let my own emotions stand in the way, because I'm not strong. At the time, I wasn't that strong, and I was still trying to understand who I am as well. And I'm a pretty private person, I'm more of an introvert, so that's something like that was really scary to me, and I started thinking that it's other people, other empaths and clairvoyants and mediums, that's even famous and is a lot stronger and than I am, should be receiving this information. I just didn't feel comfortable with entertaining the idea that this was my responsibility. So I lost that connection. Now, the very last time I connected with the King of Pop was September 2nd, 2009, which is on a Wednesday night. This particular night was different and completely darker than the rest. I wouldn't say darker, but on my perspective, on my side, it was darker for me. And I am not going to take that as a bad thing. I am now stronger enough to understand what transpired and not to blame myself or anyone else about it. But it did ultimately change my perspective on wanting to continue connecting with non-physicals. I do it now, but it's been 9 years since the last time I have connected. And, well, with his energy that night of September 2nd, it came in so incredibly strong. Um, it was like an excitement though. It was an exciting energy that he was pushing through. Um, but the problem of that was he wasn't alone. Um, I'm gonna try to get this through this part as best as I can. I'm not going to, I'm gonna try not to embrace the experience of it. I gotta stay and not embrace the experience of it and just understand it as beauty. But he wasn't alone this time. And if you guys okay with me being truly honest, it was something that I wasn't familiar with. I never experienced other non-physical energies around other than the one that I'm thinking of through my thoughts of connecting with this person and then finally finding that fine-tuned connection. This was a situation that occurred that I didn't get a say-so in or agreement in. Mainly what I'm trying to say, where I did not get a heads up or asked if it's okay for that to happen or me to go into that, because I'm not by ability a true medium, where they can go in this and that, all day. I'm a spontaneous medium, by circumstances, I shall say. So this wasn't nothing where it's a profession to me where, okay, oh, come on in. I'll take all you guys. Come on in. Let me reach you. It wasn't that, because I wasn't feeling comfortable with being or having an audience of that type of energy. And the energy wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. It just was again, if I'm being honest, a more frightening situation, and I let the fear take hold of me during that. But I'm gonna go for before I go into that. Let me just explain. I was still in at the moment, so um, not consciously aware of what is about to transpire. But when I realized that the energies that was in, along with Michael, I was not the only one with him. It was others. And it started off as being like sounds of a whole bunch of radios playing in the background, loud in the background. Um, each one of these songs did not interfere with the next. I was able to just picture a whole bunch of songs loud in the background in your head. You're like, where the heck this coming from, right? But I heard them very distinctively. Neither one of these radios of these songs interfered. And this is what I heard. the first song I heard was Fly Me to the Moon. And, you know, that foot going on, and it transient to followed by sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Then I jumped when it happened. Ah! Watch me now. I feel good. I'm hearing this. And so that energy kind of it startled me, you know, and then it calmed and followed by the rhythm of life is the powerful beat. The rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. It was more of a fun feel. Then the very last one, I'm not sure, but it was more of a, it gave me a different vibration. It was like a, but it was, the very last one was, let's call the whole thing off. Let's call the whole thing off. Let's call the whole thing off. And it was very overwhelming to me. It was overwhelming, but powerful. At that point, after all that, the sound of those radios, well, it was a quite beautiful experience, but at that point, I started getting nervous. Still trying to maintain my focus of not being found out. I'm nervous and just trying to hold that connection, but just to see it through. It was something different, but past any type of butterflies of a feeling. It was uh, almost a panicking situation, trying to stay calm. And as I was doing that, you know, everything happened so fast because right in the midst of that, I got bombarded with every one of those energies trying to get my attention. And it was just like me, you know, just trying to get me to get their attention. And so I can notice them and tell them to reach out to their family members, tell them to think of them and this and that. It was just way too much. Seriously, it was way too much. And I just wasn't ready for that. I was committed to Michael, but I didn't know what I was getting prepared for and what my role I had to play in this. So I didn't take the understanding of the seriousness, I guess, as I should. because I just wanted to bail out. I started doubting myself and start thinking all these thoughts like I can't do this. I'm not the right person for this. Uh, it was just way too much. Um, at that point, I wanted out. And that's what happened. I know I remember thinking something, though, that no Claire should ever think when they in between. In between is a term I like to say because that's what they like to call us. You know, the in betweeners. We're in between. You know, we teetering in between. I don't know what that means. I pray for guidance about that every day. But I also try to block a lot of things out as well to filter myself. Um, but I remember thinking, which I said before, Claire should never think when they in this in-between state. Um, I was thinking that, is this the work of something else? Dark, some energies, just, just, I felt like peer pressure and bombarded, and I don't know, I was just overwhelmed. So I started thinking things that the normal fear that takes hold of a normal human being in the physical form, and how we get clouded by so much fear, we let that create other things. And my thoughts, my own thoughts, start taking over and turn it into a direction of a, a I should say, of a different type of change energy. It took me somewhere else, and I never wanted to experience that. And so basically, I started in my head. I didn't want to continue this, and I needed to break away from this. As I was slowly trying to break away and trying to get out of it, I'm trying to fight. I'm battling with this because of my own fears again. And like I said, as I was trying to get out of the connection entirely, um, the King of Pop started saying to me that I betrayed him, and that I'm just like the rest, and saying that he trusted me, and that he shouldn't have trusted a stranger with his personal life and his friends, and he was just saying things like he told them that I would help, and that instead I embarrassed him. This was what the conversation of what he was feeding me started turning into. And he said to me, that I was evil for letting him on. And that really broke my heart. And because that wasn't the case. Only if he would have known that I let fear take over of something that I wasn't ready or prepared for, or that I wasn't experienced with, I wasn't sure of. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if my mind, what is going on? Why is all these strong energies invading my space? Like, this is how I was feeling, and I know I shouldn't have been feeling like that at the moment. And I believe I'm stronger now, but at the moment, I didn't understand it. So, as he was sharing those words to me, something very traumatizing happened. And this was one of the main reasons why I didn't want no part of this type of ability or curse or whatever it is at the time. It was hurting me physically and mentally. And I feel I let Michael down by not being strong enough to pass his message on the best way I was supposed to do. But I didn't understand my role, and I was scared of that role. And and I don't, if so, I want him to know, if I was had more understanding and knew how to present what he's asking me to do the right way and seek who he needed me to seek, but I don't. And in today's world, people don't understand the power that they have within them. People don't, and people don't want to understand their higher selves. They're afraid, and I don't blame them for being afraid. I have the ability, and I'm still afraid. It's I don't know what kind of toll it's gonna take on my body in the long run, but I want to be able to do it right and understand it without it harming me as much as it does physically. But getting back to that moment, as he shared those words to me, those last words to me, those last words to me, the traumatizing thing that started happening to me as I was laying in my bed with my eyes closed. At that moment, my eyes was closed. At that point, I started visualizing this is so. I want to be transparent with you guys as best as possible. Um, but I'm just going to keep it real and let you guys know the experience of that. It as my eyes was closed, I started visualizing thousands of nasty cockroaches. And that's one of my disgusting fears is cockroaches. It was thousands of cockroaches literally on my body. This is what all of a sudden I'm getting the visualization of this. At this moment, my eyes was closed because I was in a connection that was my eyes were in the state that it was closed at the time. But I thought I was out of connection because I felt nothing. I didn't hear from nothing from him, but me being paralyzed in my bed, all I can do is I was moving my eyelids, trying so hard to open my eyes, to wake up, wake up. It was like I was in a paralyzing state, couldn't move my body, couldn't move my legs, my arms, nothing. And I can feel my eyelids twitch, just teetering, trying to, and me trying so hard, like wake up, wake up. And when I opened my eyes, something that never happened before transpired, and to this day, I never experienced, to this day, after that, I never experienced nothing else like that. Um, but, and I don't understand it. Maybe someone way more in tune than me and it can help me and explain that to me. But, I literally opened my eyes. Still couldn't move my arms, my legs was in my bed, but my eyes was open, and I saw. I don't know if I was being tortured. I mean, I gotta accept and not feel a certain kind of way about it. I did not fulfill what I was supposed to, but yes, I saw those things, mounds of those nasty roaches. Mounds, they was crawling on top of each other, crawling on top of each other, and it was some with babies, and it was just disgusting. It is that, and all of a sudden it was gone. It was gone. I felt like I was about to have a heart attack. It was gone. It was gone. It was gone. He was gone. His energy was gone. I didn't feel nothing. I feel him, nothing, no nothing, no him, no nothing. Gone. I'm breathing so hard. Crying, I got on my knees and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. And I prayed for forgiveness. I prayed to Michael for forgiveness. Forgive me if I have led him in any kind of way that I could do, or I was stronger than what he thought I was. But I just wanted to ask for forgiveness. And please don't, please, just forgiveness. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. And I never want to experience nothing in my life again. And to this day, it's so hard to understand that. With my eyes open, my eyes was open. I can understand with my eyes closed, that's one thing. But to torture this to me with my eyes open and paralyzed was punishment. Punishment. That was pretty tough right there. And I'm so glad I got past that. Thanks you guys for bearing with me on that part alone. Um, that experience was a turning point for me. And I like to think that I was just a coward in that situation, and I deserved that type of vision that went beyond the between. But well, with that being said, I'm here and talking to you and everyone that's out there, that I'm here to simply right my wrongs. And by saying that, I had a responsibility, and actually, everyone out there in this world have a responsibility. But that's a whole another subject. And I will actually love one day to share that with you guys. But I have to ask within first on how and what I am able to share and express, because when you are a true intuner and a high sensitive and other and it's in other kinds, but as they will know, not the phonies, not the fakes, the fake so-called prophets, and the phony mediums that's so casually telling you about you and your family. Don't be fooled. No, and that's why I'm filtering things out as well, because I have my own certain things I have to, you know, basically filter out. But what I'm trying to say is that we as the clairs and the high sensitives have a responsibility, and in on sharing certain things and certain things that's not to be shared because of the law of free will. And I still don't know how to, when you don't know how to express or share something in order to avoid being penalized in a way where you can actually lose your gifts, by, it's rules to anything and everything you do, and it's consequences to any and everything you do in this world. So if you actually think no one is watching, or you got away with this and you got away with that, and you hurt someone, whether it's physically, mentally, intentionally, spiritually, if you put that energy of pain in someone, you will have to answer that responsibility. And but think about it is, people can always right their wrongs, and that's what this topic of conversation is about right now. When you have a duty, but when you are in a high clear space, you do have information that you can't share, and you can't because of that law I just expressed to you. The That's the law of life. Law of life is, you know, what it is. But I don't want to block my blessings, you know, but I also want to help and guide people as best way I can, whether it's in a weird form or not, or way. It's the way that I can provide it in subliminal or whatever kind of terms when speaking to providing certain information. And I'm a open book, and I'm willing to help and share the best way I can, not for monetary gains and things like that. And that's my whole point. It bothers me that people like that gets on TV and go and book tour dates to take people's money. Anyway, I love everyone, and I just want everyone to be pure within themselves. Learn who you truly are. That's all I can say. Don't be afraid. But I can't tell you to be afraid because I'll be a hypocrite because I'm afraid. But sometimes you have to push through. You got to push through. Remember, we so clouded in this mind dense, this dense level of realm that we are in. So clouded by everything. So if you tune out of that, which is so hard to do, again, I can share things with you that if anyone will need other extra guidance without putting myself at risk in any kind of way, or opening myself to your pain too often, because you guys, I only want to open myself to pain and energies that needs that from me, But to make the long story short, because I can talk forever, but right now my energy is really tensed up right now, because if you don't put that energy anywhere, it locks up and it starts becoming a ball of stress. So I have to release that energy right now, soon. So I'm going to be wrapping it up soon. But I'm trying to get over me being so emotional. I'm just so happy that I'm able to finally just get this off my chest. Relief. Um, but what I do want to say is that um, I have the courage now to share this, and I don't want anyone to be afraid of nothing I share with you. Understand it is a beautiful thing. And take the time to think of one of your loved ones if you're ready. Think of them with every pain in that core of your body. Think of them. Remember them. Think of them. Think of them. Remember them. Think of them. It's a lot of us out there. It is. And a lot of them are like me. I like to hide in the scene. More loving people in this world and more conscious people. And I'm so proud because people are, that little coin that woke, that token of wokeness, hey, you can say you woke, but are you woke? I love you, YouTube viewers. And if you like everything, my channel, me, just click that button like. If you need more information on understanding, I will do my best to help you understand and get clarity as best as possible so you can do the rest. I love you. Bye. Open your mind's eye. Explore the possibilities of life and the capabilities of your soul. Tune in to the mind. Tune in to the open universal energy. And go beyond the physical concept of reality. Find your path to enter the rim. Enter the rim of the pre-existence and metamorph into the powers of your higher self. Because I am you. You are me. We are them. Them is us. Us is all.